Kamala Harris wants to run for office again. Allegedly, she said, "I'm thinking about it." Ma'am, we've already been through this. Kamala Harris continuing to try and gaslight everybody into, "No, I'm done with public office and the presidency. Yes, I might actually do it again. No, yes, no, yes." It's exhausting. It's exhausting. But first, if you haven't subscribed, I am back on this channel. I am also back on Substack. So make sure that you are staying up on top of my YouTube channel and my Substack. It helps me out a lot. NBC News is reporting that Kamala Harris is confirming that she might run again for president. She said, "I'm quote unquote thinking about it." The Reverend Al Sharpton asked the 2024 Democratic presidential nominee about a potential 2028 bid during the National Action Network conference in New York City. There's a clip of this. Let's see if we can get into it.
Listen, I might. I'm thinking about it. I know what the job is. And I know what it requires. I also know, one of the things that I've been doing, Rev, is, is I've been traveling the country the last year. I've been spending a lot of time in the South and many other places. And the one thing I'm really clear about also is the status quo is not working.
Oh my God, there's so many things to get into with this. Okay, guys. So the first thing, she's like, I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Like she's running for, class president of 1998, right? Like, this ain't that, Miss Ma'am. Like, you've already gone through this. You already lost the presidency to Donald Trump. If we even get to an election because we are living under a wannabe dictator fascist, if we even get to a 2028 election, it is already predicted, by Erica Kirk herself that J.D. Vance is most likely going to be on the ticket for that. And we know that Harris does not have a high enough voter base to get her to pass J.D. Vance. The thing about Harris that always bothered me is that she seems to be living in Delulu land, where she does not understand that progressive voters are starting to become the more powerful voting base, and that her centrist ideals and her literal status quo ideals are not popular with the progressive voter base. And to the tune that 15 million people ended up just not voting at all because they didn't like the Republican candidate Donald Trump, and they also didn't like the Democratic candidate Kamala Harris. It feels like this woman just refuses to learn from her own voter base. So at the end of that clip, she also stated that, people are sick of the status quo. Ma'am, you are the status quo. You absolutely are the status quo. And it bothers so many people that she, again, lives in this delusional ideology that she is not a part of the status quo. Ma'am, you have been in the status quo for most of your career, if not all of your career. Being a former prosecutor, DA, whatever she was, that is a part of the status quo. You are enforcing laws that are dictated by the status quo, correct? You are enforcing laws that are dictated by the patriarchy, correct? That is part of the status quo. If you remember, the DNC was an absolute shit show. But that DNC speech that she gave, where she basically claimed that, all of the policies that she was going for, right? Like, she wanted more Republicans to come and be a part of her cabinet and her administration if she was elected. She wanted to have the most lethal army in the world. She wanted to ensure that illegal immigration was no longer a problem, just kind of repeating Republican talking points. She wanted to secure the border and take care of that, right? This is a woman who oversaw an entire genocide, claimed that she was pro-ceasefire. We all know that that is a lie. We all know that there were zero attempts at a good faith ceasefire. And moreover, she is a proud Zionist. Again, Zionism is a political ideology, not an identifier. So all of you can miss me with the crap about, oh, you can't call, anyone a Zionist. Zionism is a political ideology. Miss me entirely. She is a proud Zionist, just as Biden was. Biden campaigned on Zionism. He loved AIPAC. She was, I'm pretty sure, also endorsed or paid by AIPAC, took AIPAC money. This is a foreign state, a foreign illegitimate state at that, apartheid state, genocidal state that was dumping millions of dollars into Democratic candidates such as Kamala Harris. All of that rant to say, ma'am, you are the status quo. Stop gaslighting the public into thinking that you're not. Progressives are not happy about this. There were many comments that I saw on Instagram specifically where people are saying, could you please not? Like, we've been through this, girl. Could you please not? There are a lot of conversations going on in terms of what progressive candidates should be running in the 2028 ticket. Again, if we even have elections, because the Trump administration is currently trying to fuck with the midterms. So, we'll see what happens. We have to get through currently the primaries. Several different states, if not every state, is going through their primaries. And then we're going to have the midterms in November. The Save America Act is trying to get passed. Now, we can absolutely get into this now, because I don't think enough people are actually talking about it. The Save America Act is currently stalled a little bit, but the Republicans are trying to get it passed. Now, Democracy Docket wrote an article saying, as Save America Act stalls, GOP states are quietly enacting their own proof of citizenship laws. So regardless if the federal act gets passed or not, which would make it increasingly more difficult for millions of people to be able to vote in the midterms, which are happening this November, GOP states, or Republican quote unquote red states, are trying to pass stricter voting laws and enact proof of citizenship laws. The Republicans also live in Delulu land, where they are increasingly continuing to push this narrative that non-citizens are voting in elections. That is absolutely false, but here we are. They continue to push that lie. This article states President Donald Trump's effort to push his restrictive anti-voting bill through Congress has so far failed. Trump said that he won't pass anything else until the Save America Act, a voting bill that could disenfranchise millions of Americans and possesses barriers for students, the disability community, married women, and Americans overseas, is set in stone. The president has insisted, despite data revealing it's not true, that the United States has a widespread voter fraud issue. It's one he's determined to fix. It's an issue that doesn't exist, sir. Okay, the problem is that voting experts say Trump and his Republican envoys are seeking a flawed solution to a non-issue. A non-issue is 100% correct. While the bill introduced March 17 remains stalled in the Senate, some state leaders have posted about it, proposed, and even enacted statewide proof of citizenship laws to vote. This is not new. Some states have had proof of citizenship voting laws for years, but now a flood of other states are following suit. So this non-existent issue they have made it their business to make it an issue. And now millions of Americans are going to be completely affected by, again, a non-issue being pushed. And so these anti-voting groups across the nation are pressuring states to pass new restrictive voting laws. So I'm going to try to go through this list very quickly. Florida. Surprise, surprise, Florida, man. They have provisions that would go into effect in 2027. They are also wanting student ID requirements, center ID, and neighborhood association IDs, for examples. Mississippi has a SHIELD Act that would take effect in July of this year. That passed in the state Senate and was signed by the governor there on April 1st. South Dakota, Republican Governor Larry Roden signed South Dakota's proof of citizenship bill in March. The law takes effect immediately, meaning new voters looking to cast their ballots on June 2nd in the June 2nd primary and in the general midterm election have to provide documentation proving their citizenship. Utah, only one non-citizen was found to be registered, and not a single non-citizen has voted in a Utah election. But despite that, HB 0209, requiring proof of citizenship to vote, was signed into law on March 25th of last month. So these are the red states that are, basically enacting or have enacted different nefarious laws to pass in their states. This is in response to the federal Save America Act basically stalling, but there is widespread rumors that potentially Donald Trump could just do an executive order and try to get it all passed. Doesn't matter, but he just doesn't care, right? He does not care about following our Constitution, so he's just going to do whatever the freak he wants. America has been through this before. Historically, the Black community and the Latino and Asian communities have been negatively affected by proof of citizenship and restricting voting rights in the United States over, the 1950s, the 1930s, and the 1960s was, I believe, the last time that this happened. Martin Luther King was instrumental in making sure that voting rights were extended to Black Americans, rightfully so. So this is a fairly regressive bill that is trying to make it much, much, much harder for Americans, particularly Black and brown citizens, to vote. So again, this is like a proof of citizenship law, but mostly it's affecting citizens, right? Who are considered to be in the minority, and that is 100% by design. This has nothing to do with undocumented people. This has everything to do with making sure that elections are swayed in the favor of Republicans. Now, the president, Donald Trump, has the lowest approval rating he's ever had. So they are scrambling. The Trump regime is scrambling to make sure that the midterms go in their favored direction. So all of that to bring it back to Ms. Kamala Harris. What do you guys think? Do you think that she should run again? Do you think that we're even going to have the midterms? Do you feel like there is currently a progressive candidate that you would prefer to see? There are rumors circulating that AOC might be making a bid for president in 2028, so it could very well be AOC versus JD fuck his couch Vance. So, I don't know. I'm interested to hear where everybody's head is at with this. But yeah, I don't think it's a good idea for a centrist Democrat to run. I do believe that the Democratic Party needs to dramatically shift their messaging towards a progressive campaign. But we're seeing how the DNC, I told you guys about this other story, how the DNC is just absolutely failing when it comes to that, and have voted down or rejected a measure that would have condemned AIPAC's influence within the Democratic Party. Bad move. I don't know of anyone, at least not in my circles or online, that are happy with Democratic candidates that take AIPAC money. Yeah, I don't know how the DNC is going to retain progressive young votes if they continue just being completely, completely delusional about their own voter base. So we're going to see what happens. I will keep you guys updated as much as I can and as quickly as I can. If you haven't subscribed to my channels on Substack and YouTube, please do find me on Instagram. That's where I'm posting very quick clips of my personal opinions and thoughts on everything that's been happening. I'm having a lot of really good conversations there in the comments with you guys, so make sure to follow me there. And I will see you very, very soon.